The Isaiah Factor Uncensored starts right now.
And welcome to The Factor Uncensored. We start in Ukraine tonight, where peace talks seem to have gone nowhere. Just moments after Ukrainian and Russian leaders met, the city of Kyiv came under fire, heavy fire. A Russian military convoy approaching the city is said to be 40 miles long. Ukraine's longest and largest city, Kharkiv, also under intense shelling from multiple rocket launchers. There are reports of bombs hitting civilian targets, including a school. Officials say at least 44 people were killed there, including children. And for that, Ukraine accuses Russia of war crimes. An exact death toll is hard to calculate tonight. We're in the middle of a war. You can't come up with numbers so far. But what we have is more than 500,000 refugees have fled Ukraine, and it's those people trying to flee that we want to focus on tonight. Reports of discrimination and racism on trains and at the border surfacing in the middle of this invasion.
We hear, guys, that black students, mainly from Nigeria and from South Africa, are being denied entry into countries like bordering countries like Poland, where they're saying no blacks allowed. And it's just mind-blowing that in this tough time, in this tough situation, in a war, you still have racism rearing its ugly head. Dr. Olson, your thoughts on this?
Well, not only going into a country, but they were having trouble getting out of the country on the train because they kept saying, get back, get back, get back. And don't we know about that? It is difficult to be black in the world, and we just have to recognize that. Now, I don't like that news. It is just hard, and we have to accept it. We have to embrace each other. There's not a lot we can do about it right now, but we do have to recognize it, and we do have to do what we're doing today, and that is calling it out.
Now, Human Watch has said that Poland has been historically racist there, and many people are seeing it today with this war. They're denying it, saying it's fake news. Your thoughts on this, Todd?
I wouldn't expect them to admit it. You know, I never met a racist who admitted that they were racist. It's always an excuse. They have white friends. They probably have, they have black friends. They might have a black person on their soccer team or something like that. So that's proof that Poland is not racist. But we know that racism exists. And like you alluded to earlier, not even during a war can we pause from the racism and hatred and just accept people as one. And I hear people all the time on this show and when I'm in the streets say, if you stop talking about race, then racism will cease to exist. But I fail to believe that these Nigerian and South African students walked up to the border and said, hey, I'm a Negro. They probably didn't say anything. You could look at them and tell that they were of African descent. And if some people said that they looked at our passport and we didn't have a European passport, but if you're not looking at the white people and seeing if they have a European passport, then that's obvious racism because we know that there are white Americans in Ukraine right now. And I'm pretty sure a lot of them are trying to get out. Are they being stopped? Or are they assuming that they're Ukrainian and letting them through? So we have to continue to call it out, like Dr. Olson said. We'll get backlash. People want to deny that racism exists, but in a life and death situation where we should all be one and all riding with Ukraine, you're separating people as black and white, and that just shows how sickening the disease of racism is.
And Dr. Olson, we're hearing it. There is a hierarchy when they're trying to escape Ukraine because of the Russian invasion. They're letting Ukrainians out first, then Indians, and then blacks, if they're allowing the blacks out. But Indian students are complaining as well, saying that guards shot at them, not hit anyone, but shot at them.
Yeah, well, they may not have passed the brown paper bag test, all right?
Yeah.
So you know about that test.
Yes.
You're from Louisiana, you know about that. If your skin is lighter than this envelope, which is the color of a brown paper bag, then you're okay. And if you're not, that's a problem. So we need to deal with that. We need to deal with racism in all of its ugly forms all over the world, including and especially here. As you know, someone my skin color gets a little bit better break than someone your skin color, Isaiah, and that is terrible. It's ridiculous. And everyone has to be aware that we have to look at people for who they are. I'm so glad that I am made in the image of God, and I tell people that, and I'm a faith person, because being Black is hard. It's hard in the world. And by the way, when you go to Africa, there's still racism because it's so in the water that people look at each other in the same race and treat each other different because of skin color. And that is not right.
So tonight we've established a problem and now we talk on how to fix it. We hear from our guests on what we can do here to get some real solutions there.
We have a history as a people of looking out for our own community when other people don't. But it pains me that in 2022, we still have to do what we were doing in 1947 and 1952.
And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. We're talking about the situation in Ukraine tonight, specifically reports of black students and citizens being pushed to the side as they try to flee Ukraine after the invasion, oftentimes pulled from buses, allegedly to make room for white Ukrainians who are not black. You may be thinking, hold up, Ukraine's got bigger fish to fry right now. It's wartime. And you're right. So we continue our discussion on taking some action that will generate real results and help get change there and those who are stuck behind the border out.
Obviously, there are campaigns already going on social media as well.
And I would say that would be the answer. Double XL magazine just had an article about Young Thug, the rapper, saying that he wants to put his money. I don't think he knows how he would go about doing it, but he wants to put his money and he wants to get other rappers and other black entertainers together to pool their resources together to help some of those brothers and sisters get back to their homeland. That's the only thing that we can do. I think as black people, we've always, when we've had doors shut in our face, we've always pulled together. You know, if you can look at segregation in sports, when black people couldn't stay in hotels, Jackie Robinson's, the early NBA players, black families would house them. They would feed them, they would take care of them. So we have a history as a people of looking out for our own community when other people don't. But it pains me that in 2022, we still have to do what we were doing in 1947 and 1952 or 1946 or whenever Jackie broke the baseball barrier. But we just have to come together and support people from our community and pray for them. Those who can't do anything, pray for them. But everybody can do a little bit of something. You might not have $100,000 like a rapper might have, but you might have $100, you might have $50. Look to find those organizations and entertainers who are trying to get these people out and do what you can to help them out, because we need to probably stop looking for help from people who don't want to help us. We just need to help ourselves sometimes, unfortunately.
Many African governments are ringing the alarm, Dr. Olufsen. Should they be doing more than just ringing the alarm for their people who are stuck there in that country in Ukraine?
I think they need to be doing anything they can to get those people out. And not only that, something needs to happen with this evil guy at the top. I mean, the racism is an issue, but the real problem is evil on top of evil on top of evil. And the fact that this guy, whose name I don't even want to call, has been allowed to do what he's done to all the innocents of Ukraine.
Todd, any other suggestions for the viewers out there? Obviously, there's a hashtag Africans in Ukraine. What would you tell them to get involved to ring the alarm of sorts?
Just use whatever platform you have. Like, I'm blessed to have your platform. I'm blessed to have my online magazine. Use whatever platform you have to call attention to this, because look at it like this. A lot of times when black people have dealt with racism in America, from police brutality to racism, look at George Zimmerman and Trayvon Martin, it was social media and videos that got people attention. We have to do that same thing. It's kind of like grassroots journalism. And I think everybody is a journalist nowadays because of social media. Use whatever platform. I don't care if you have 50 followers or 50,000 or 50 million. Let people know so we can voice our displeasure with this, and hopefully things will change, because we've seen it change here in America. When we voice our opinion and use social media, we can do the same thing in Ukraine and other places as well.
And Dr. Olufsen, before we wrap, what would be your advice?
I would say that one of the basic things that we have to do is we have to value each other. We have to value each other, the beauty of each other. We don't have to look like everybody else. We don't have to have a size 2. We don't have to have straight hair. We can be who we are and see the beauty in who we are, love ourselves, love each other, and teach our children and our young people that they are very, very valuable. And so come together. By the way, stop spending all of this money trying to look like other people. Keep your money, invest your money, become an entrepreneur, have some money, and that way we'll have some resources to reach out to change things and do the things that we need to do.
Now, the majority of the world is standing in solidarity with Ukraine, as you should do. No different than here in Texas. We'll show you next, and we wrap our discussion on discrimination in Ukraine for Africans who are there, with my guests addressing this question floating around online.
That's what I'm reading online now on social media. So many people say, why should we care about what's going on in Ukraine? Because this is the way they're treating Black people there.
And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. In the midst of the Russian invasion of Ukraine, one of the last things we want to talk about here on The Factor is racism and discrimination there. But it is there. It's happening there. And we have to address it, because if we don't, we have questions like this popping up without any answers or insight.
Should Blacks in America and Blacks around the world look at this war differently now that we see this racism? Or right is still right and wrong is still wrong?
Yeah, right is still right and wrong is still wrong. We'll deal with the racism and we'll get those brothers and sisters out, but at the same time, we got to deal with that evil person that Dr. Olison said. So this is about protecting democracy, protecting freedom around the world, because people are going to look at Ukraine as a symbol for other countries. And we've seen our democracy under threat. So let's get them out. We'll deal with the racism as we go, but let's also continue to support them, because not all Ukrainians probably feel the same way that these guards do. The politicians might not, the president might not. So sometimes we can't overgeneralize a whole group of people. Let's call those fools out at the border, but let's still show love to our brothers and sisters in Ukraine at the same time.
And Dr. Olison, that's what I'm reading online now on social media. So many people say, why should we care about what's going on in Ukraine? Because this is the way they're treating Black people there.
Well, we should care because no matter what's going on there, that is a democracy, and we have to be concerned about democracy. Listen, if you're born in America, as tough as it is being Black, you still hit the lottery, because you can do whatever you want to do. It's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult. You have to be twice as good, all that stuff. It's all true, but you can do it, and you can do it because of democracy, and we need to fight for democracy. We all have to care about that.
Let me say this before I go. I hear a lot of Black people say, why should we want democracy? What has democracy gotten for us? Let us become a dictatorship and let's see who's on the bottom of the totem pole.
Right, right. You will see a different America.
Will be at the bottom of the totem pole. You think we're doing bad? Let a white dictator run America and we're going to be back slaves, guaranteed. So be careful what you ask for, Black America.
All right. Thank you guys for joining us here on The Factor Uncensored. We appreciate your time.
But Ukraine needs more support from Western countries, from our friends and allies. We need more weaponry, we need more ammunition, we need fuel, we need some financial support, we need tightening sanctions. We welcome the sanctions already introduced against Russia, but more needs to be done. We cannot rest assured that these sanctions is enough.
The Consul General of Ukraine pleading for help, saying his country and fellow citizens are strong and resilient, but the Western nations need to step up, do more. He also made a pitch for his country to be let into the European Union. He made the statements today at the French consulate, where other nations were also represented, to show its support. Check out what this guy in Dallas did. The Russian native took a can of spray paint and crossed out the Kremlin. He owns a banya, which is a Russian-themed bathhouse in Russia. While he still has a deep love for Russia and has a family there, he wants to make it very clear to his customers and to the world that he does not condone what is happening. He strongly believes Vladimir Putin is dead wrong for the invasion.
It's nearly a shame to be Russian after that, because people say you are from the country where Putin is a ruler. This is a criminal. He's got his hands covered with blood up to here.
Only in America can he do that.